This video demonstration will cover the first of 6 main steps in the process of constructing a hand drawing. Now, I didn't create this process from scratch. I was taught a technique similar to this in school, and I've seen a few variations on it since then. What I have tried to do here is simplify and add precise measurements to help beginners get a feel for how the drawing process works. Since I'm drawing digitally, I've superimposed a grid on my paper to help visualize the measurements. If you're working with a physical pencil and paper, you can use a ruler for measuring, or you could use graph paper if you'd like to have a grid to make things a bit easier. I'd recommend watching the entire demo first without drawing, and then going through it step by step as you construct your own hand. So what we'll be doing in this first step is drawing a rectangular guide based on our reference hand. So this will be our reference hand. When you were drawing on your own, this could be you looking at your non-dominant hand, or it could be you looking at a picture of a hand that you're going to use for practice. Either way, you can measure that hand, and that'll give you the size of the rectangle. And what we want to measure is the distance between the wrist and the tip of the longest finger, which is typically the middle finger. So for this reference hand, that's 8 inches, or 8 squares on the grid. And for the width, you want to measure the palm generally right around the line of the knuckles. And in this case, that gives us 4 inches for our reference hand. So what we're going to do for our guide is a rectangle that's 4 inches wide and 8 inches tall. Now, when you're working freehand, it's easy to draw a shape that's not quite a rectangle or isn't perfectly situated on the page. To get around those issues, we'll be using a ruler to measure and draw the 4 corners first, and then connect them with straight lines to make our rectangle. What that'll let us do is let us situate the corners, with very precise measurements to make sure we end up with what we're trying to end up with. I'm going to reference each measurement, at least to start, in terms of the horizontal distance and the vertical distance from the lower left corner of the page. If you've studied geometry, it's the same setup as the Cartesian coordinate plane. So the first coordinate on the x-axis is the horizontal distance, so it's over. The second number is the vertical distance, or up, so it's over and up. So I'm going to put our first corner at coordinate 3, 1. So that's 3 inches over, 1 inch up. Just make my pen a little bigger here. So that'll be our first corner, our first vertex. We'll just label that V1. So for a rectangle that's 4 inches wide, I'm going to measure 4 inches to the right of V1. Make sure I'm still 1 inch up from the bottom, and make our second corner. That'll be V2. So because our rectangle is going to be 8 inches tall, I'm going to measure 8 inches up from V1. Make sure I'm still 3 inches over from the left side of the page. Put our third corner, vertex 3 or V3. And then for the last one, I'm going to do 4 inches to the right of V3, 8 inches up from V2. Put that there, and that'll be V4. So we've got 4 very precisely positioned corners. What we're going to do now is connect those. Use your ruler if you're drawing on paper. So V1 to V2, and V3 to V4 for our horizontals, and then for our verticals, V1 to V3, and V2 to V4. So we've got our rectangle. That's our good starting spot. And we know it's a rectangle, it's not something slightly off from being a rectangle. Our next step is to add a vertical and a horizontal center line, dividing the rectangle into 4 equal quadrants. This is going to help us with the spacing of other elements a bit later on in the instruction. So to do this, I'm going to find and mark the midpoint, the halfway point of each side, and then connect opposite sides to form my lines. So because we know our horizontal width is 4 inches, if I divide that by 2, that gives us 2 inches for the midpoint. 2 inches to the right of V1 is right here. It's going to make a little tick mark. Just think of that as M1, midpoint 1. Same thing up at the top, 2 inches over from V3. Another little tick mark, call that M2. Now for our distance between V1 and V3 here, I know that's 8 inches. Divide it in 2, gives us 4. I measure 4 inches up from V1. Make a little tick mark, midpoint number 3. And then the same thing on the other side, 4 inches up from V2. Gives us M4. So to bisect the rectangle, I'm just going to connect the opposite sides. So I'm going to draw a line with my ruler from M1 to M2, and then from M3 to M4. I can get rid of these labels because we're going to replace them with something else. But that gives us the bones of our rectangle. 4 equal quadrants. So we've got our guide drawn. The last step here is to label the vertical and the horizontal lines. I wouldn't necessarily do this if I were drawing on my own, but adding the labels here gives us a way of quickly referencing specific points, which will come in handy for instructions a little bit later on. So along the bottom of the rectangle, from left to right, I'm going to label these 3 vertical lines A, B, and C. And then along the left-hand side, from the bottom to the top, I'm going to label the horizontal lines 1, 2, and 3. So now we can use a similar coordinate system to identify specific points. So for example, the bottom left corner is A1. So I could say, hey, draw a dot at A1. You know exactly where we're putting the dot. I could say, take a look at A2, draw a tick mark 1 inch to the right of A2. So we go up here to A2, measure 1 inch to the right, put a tick mark. The coordinate at the top right corner here is C3. There's a spot where you're going to have to measure 2 inches down below C3. So you know how to find it up here, 2 inches down, put a little mark. With that, we've finished this stage of the setup. So we're working with a specific and slightly oversized hand just to get a feel for the process. When you're drawing other hands, if you're drawing your own or if you're looking at someone else's or a picture in a magazine, the size and proportions of your rectangle may be a little bit different. You might end up with something that's 3 by 7 inches. If you're drawing a child's hand, it would be even smaller. It might be 2.5 by 4. So the exact size and proportions will be a little bit different, but the steps of the process, measuring the hand, planning where you're going to put your corners and measuring them very precisely, drawing the rectangle, and then adding center lines, those steps are all going to be the same, and they'll help you with the later stages of the drawing.